We're going to talk about Edge, primarily on Windows today, navigating around it, and Edge features. You've got a Bing Copilot, you've got a navigation and settings, you have an app sidebar. There's a lot of options when you right-click on a web page you're looking at. There's Immersive Reader, Read Aloud, Web, Split Screen, Tabs, Favorites, Collections, Coupons and Shopping, AI tabs and vertical tabs, and extensions and customize appearance. I've got a navigation bar across the top with back arrow, reload, home, a address and search bar field just like everything else. There's a do not disturb icon. We'll talk about some of these other icons and what they mean as we go along. And I have some tabs that are open at the top. Okay, so close a window, open a window, very much the same way. So if I want to look at a web page here and switch from one tab to another, having tabs open makes it easy to switch over. And the tabs show a little preview as you hover over the tab of the page you're looking at. So tabs are very good tool to use when you're browsing the web. I have some favorites that I have listed here. Microsft calls their bookmarks favorites and collections. We'll take a look at them. One of the things you'll notice is that on the right-hand side, there's some navigation here. The first thing is this new Bing Copilot option that comes up, and it's a tool that gives you the ability to utilize ChatGPT for asking anything. You can say, what are some highlights of the Edge browser? And we can ask it, and it'll pull up a chat response for us. It'll search the web. It's actively searching the web for us here. And you can choose a conversational style, more creative, more balanced, more precise. And it's going to give us some answers here of different things that it does, and also links to the websites where they get it from. So you've got AI built into the Edge browser with Bing Chat. So it's something that's part of the solution here. You can do longer things with Bing, like not only chat, but you can compose and ask it to compose types of things. Here's an example, a synopsis of Pride and Prejudice. You can use it for writing, to write emails or ideas or blog posts, create short, medium, and long, and your AI content will be here. So chat is more of a dialogue. It gives you the ability to compose information and ask about a certain text. And insights will give you insights into key phrases or things that it is pulling from the website here that it deals with. So that's one of the things that your Bing Copilot does for you, is it's built in. And there's also a search tool here, and this lets you just click on search the web. So if you don't want to leave the tab you're on and you wanted to go to, say, your Gmail, you can click on Gmail and you can search for information here in this space without losing the tab here, and bring up your Gmail if you want to directly by doing that. So this is actually a complete search tool that you want if you want to use it, and it gives you the ability to find something without losing the tab you're currently viewing. There's shopping. Shopping is a feature with Microsft, and it shows things like coupons. So if we go to a website like, say, Amazon, and we want to go to just Amazon, spend less, and other things, Microsft Bing will find coupons for you. So if we were looking at Halloween costumes, popular item, it will show you on the right if it has found any coupons for you to get discounts on products. And it uses the discount that it gets from referring business through affiliate links and applies the discount to you. So it shows different things that are on sale, looking for, if there are coupon codes that people find, they're welcome to share them. But you can find lots of times items that are on sale on any website just by clicking the shopping link and get discounts on whatever you might be shopping for. It's one of the things that Microsoft has been emphasizing. There's a toolbox for tools that brings up simple things like calculators and translators here, dictionaries, clocks, other tools like timers and stopwatches that are quick, just a quick access to. It has games that you can access that you can play through Microsoft. It has access to your Microsoft 365 applications on here, so you can see, and it brings up your most recent items that you've been working with Word, Excel, PowerPoint. It has OneNote, Teams, OneDrive, all available for you here in the sidebar. And it comes standard with Outlook listed here as well, so you can pull up your Outlook for your mail and contacts, all while you're within the browser. You actually have the ability to add and customize this sidebar, and I'll show you this little other tool in a minute. You can add a web page to your sidebar. So if you are looking at a website like Bobology, and you want to add the current page to your sidebar to make it easy to find, you can click on Add, and it puts an icon right here for you on your sidebar. So if you're going frequently to a web page, you can set it up here in your bookmarks, but you can also set it up in your sidebar as well. So it makes navigating things really easy. They have some standard settings: search, which we looked at without losing your place, shopping, tools, games, Microsoft 365, Outlook, and drop. These are standard, but you can add tools they have, like the image creator, which is part of their Copilot, and bring up an image creator tool. You can add a OneNote feed so you can take notes as you browse the web. You can add an e-tree, which is kind of an eco, type of tool where Microsoft gives you benefits and contributes to planting trees. You can work with Designer, and when they say preview, that means something's in beta. But Designer gives you the ability to design items as well. And then you can see if you want to remove the Bobology site, maybe you'd add that. You could just click on remove, or if you want to turn some of these features off, you can turn them off and they get removed from your sidebar here. So it gives you a lot of capability to customize that sidebar as a way for you to navigate without losing the web page that you're currently viewing. So let's look at some of the top navigation here. I'm going to pull up this is a page with an article on it that I published in my newsletter, Making the Most of Digital Calendars. And there's a couple of tools that are here. There's a tool with an open book in it. This is called Immersive Reader. And it changes the view of your web page with just a click, taking out all the ads and extraneous navigation, and gives you the ability just to focus on reading the text. It has text preferences if you prefer a different style or background color or theme. You can modify that. You can change the reading preferences, and you can translate right from here to a different language if you want to. You can highlight things you want to translate or translate the entire page. Microsoft has tremendous translation features, as do most of the large technology companies. There's also an interesting little tool called Read Aloud that's built in here. And you can read aloud when you're not looking at Immersive View, but it's a little bit easier in Immersive View. I'll change a setting.
Making the most of digital calendars.
Yeah.
Home.
There you go.
Newsletter.
Okay. So you can go option, you can change the voice, how you want it. You can find non-English, voices here if you want to, but a lot of foreign voices if you're interested in getting different accents if you want to do that. But Immersive Reader doesn't require that you use Read Aloud. Read Aloud is available on any web page that you look at where you see this little A with the voice icon kind of standing out there. If we go to the left, there's our home page, the link that we can go to. There's our reload option if we want to as well. And then in the browser, if I go to, say, Apple's website, well, I already have that picked up. Let me go to something that I may not have marked as a favorite already. I went to Etsy.com. I can click and see what coupons are available on the site. So it'll pick up coupons depending on what website you look at. So but it'll highlight it with the coupon icon. I can read aloud. And then the star is a way for me to add this to my favorites. Okay, favorites in Edge are what bookmarks are in almost every other browser. They just call them favorites. So the favorites bar is what shows across the top here, but you can put it in other folders if you want to, and you can manage your folders as well if you want to by clicking on more. This gives you the ability to create new folders and add new folders to organize your favorites if you want to. So think of favorites as bookmarks. You can bookmark this favorite bar here is a set of bookmarked web pages, so I don't have to go and find them. They're right along the top every time I open up my browser. I could have added them to the right here. Windows 11 also has a new feature where you can add a web page to your taskbar on the bottom, and Mac's just introduced that too for Safari. One of the cool things about this is that there's something called split screen. Rather than switching from one tab to another tab, back to another tab, you can actually use what's called a split screen, and you can have different things open here. So if I wanted to look at Amazon and Microsft, for something, or I was looking at two shopping sites, for example, Etsy and Amazon, I can change this to Etsy. I can go to split screen, and then I can pull up, I thought I had Amazon here, I lost it. Okay, so let me type in a search for Amazon, and I'll bring it up, and I've got a split screen. So I can actually navigate with my mouse across either side of the browser without having to leave the browser or switch to another tab and just have one web page viewed at a time. Really nice feature. I've used that a lot. So you can be in Gmail on one side of your screen, you can be in another web page on the other side of your screen and see them side by side without having to open up another browser window if that's something you typically do. So a lot of really great utility there for the split screen function that a lot of people are finding beneficial. The star here lists your favorites if you wanted to list all your favorites and see what they were. So favorites will give you the ability to look at your favorites if you want to. You can create something called collections. Collections are what I equate to groupings of web pages you might want to have and collect together. So I have a collection I started to create called Tech News that lists 3 items in it that are available to me to be able to look at. It's Apple's Newsroom, Google Maps, and official Microsft. Well, Google has an update website here. I added Amazon by accident, so I'm going to click on the More option here with the 3 dots and remove it. So I have the ability to delete it from a collection. So collections are ways to group websites together very quickly so that if you're looking at some things that are related to each other or you wanted to have something, you can do that and find these websites very easily, very quickly. Google has a news channel called The Keyword where they issue their updates on what technology they're doing. Apple has a newsroom that they use to broadcast things. They're promoting their October 23 keynote. Microsft has an official blog where they make announcements about what's going on with the company as well. So I just created a quick collection, and I can add additional web pages as I open them to the collection. or remove them from the more options, or copy it, rename the page, or add a note to the item, or open it in a new window, or change the order of these. So collections are a great way for you to pull together websites that you might want to keep organized in some way. I find it's an alternative to using favorites and bookmarks, but it sometimes is easier to find things in a collection because bookmarks can get really cluttered up over time. One of the other things about collections that it does is that if you're at all familiar with RSS technology for really simple syndication, it does give you the ability to follow websites' RSS broadcasts so that you can subscribe to a website and receive updates from their broadcast whenever they publish new items in this collections area without having to clutter up anything else on your screen. And you only open it up when you actually look at collections. Otherwise, collection stays hidden from you. The three dots gives you the ability to access your settings. You can access your favorites, your history, your downloads. We'll look at apps, extensions, browser essentials, print, web capture, find on page, and there's even more tools as well. You can customize the appearance of your Edge browser and do a lot of other things with it. This little icon here called Drop allows you to send files from one device to another device from within your Edge browser. So that if you have Edge on your Android phone, or Edge on your Mac, or Edge on your iPhone, or Edge on your iPad, and you say, gee, I really want to get this picture or this file somewhere else. If you click on it, you can select a file if you want to. So this is just one image that I have. It's a JPEG. I'm going to send it, and it sends a file. It's available to me on Edge in my other devices. So if I open up Edge on my Mac, if I open up Edge on my iPhone, if I open up Edge on my Android, that file's available, and I can send files from my phone to my desktop using this Drop tool as well. So Drop gives you this great flexibility to just click on something, find it anywhere on your device, and pull it in. And if I think I've got some things on my desktop here, okay, I don't know what, let's see, documents, let's see if I can find something here and pull this up, and I can share it. So it downloads the item from the web because it's in OneDrive, and then it's going to post it in the Drop area so that it is available for me to access on another device. So it's a quick way to do. Apple has a tool called AirDrop that is used, which is great for people that have a Mac and an iPhone or an iPad. But if you don't have an iPhone, an iPad, and a Mac, and you want to move a file from one place to another, the AirDrop is an easy way to do it. So we've looked at coupons, navigation, settings, app sidebar, Immersive Reader, read aloud. One of the things that you may have noticed when I was using Drop here is that there is a little icon here for screenshot. Down at the bottom next to the plus, there is a little clipper tool for taking a screenshot. So if I want to take a screenshot, I can capture a web area, and it will let me capture an area of the web here and copy it or mark it up, or let me even do a visual search of things here. But if I will make a copy of this, I can copy it, and now it's on my clipboard on my Windows computer, and I can paste it somewhere else if I want to. So I have the ability to do those types of things if I want to, and paste things in. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. And if you want to delete something, you can just delete it. You can show it in the folder where it's located. And you can open it with the app, or if it's a Microsoft document or something you can open up with OneDrive, it'll let you open up with OneDrive right from drop. So very convenient tool, and the screenshots give you the ability to utilize that functionality to be able to take screenshots wherever you want to, and you can mark up screenshots as well. So one of the things you can do is you can color on them, and you can mark up your screen if you want to edit or modify something that you might be interested in using, and you can save it to photos if you want to. You can send a photo here after you've looked at it. So a lot of really useful tools here that are starting to make Edge a really, really powerful. I'm going to pull this screenshot up again, and I'll take a look at marking it up. If you just highlight any area, you can download it, you can share it, you can put text on it, you can highlight certain areas, create shapes on it. So it has annotation tools when you want to create a screenshot. You might also find this little icon here showing up when there are pictures on Bing, and you can click on Visual Search. And what it's going to do is it's going to say, okay, here's what we think this is about, and here are some other related types of things that might be of interest that could be related to whatever that search is. And you can open it up in a new tab if you want to as well. So you can change that if you're interested. There's a couple of icons here on the upper left. One of them is Workspaces, which is a preview. I haven't tried that, but Workspaces is giving people the ability to share dynamic browsing activities at the same time with each other. One of the things Edge has included with it now is something called vertical tabs. And take all of these tabs along the top and put them in the left-hand column here, so that you can see all of these tabs are now organized in a more traditional web navigation mechanism, that tends to be something that people can use. So if you wanted to make your tabs vertical or horizontal, you can change them and modify them if you want to how you want to turn them off. Now, another feature in tabs is something called group similar tabs, but also I like the fact they've got recently closed tabs. Lots of times I'll be looking at a web page and I'll accidentally close a tab and I say, how do I get that back? Okay, so it's really convenient from that. And also tabs can be shared among other devices. I haven't shown you one of the most powerful tools in Edge yet, but that's just amazing what I discovered it could do in the past few days. So if I want to group similar tabs, you can see I've got some shopping, I've got some tech, I don't know. So if I want to group similar tabs, I can click on this, and it's going to organize them together. Shopping, Google, Apple, and some others here. So I'll say let's group. I like that. I'll give it some feedback, and I'll group these tabs together. And you can see what it did with the tabs. It created some color coding here. So the shopping tabs are all highlighted under one color. Google's tabs are highlighted. Apple's tabs are highlighted. And some other ones are just, wasn't able to organize them very well, so it didn't try. So it's a preview, but it gives you a way to say, oh, okay, I'd like to organize these tabs together in, by topic, and it kind of does a pretty good job, I think. So one of the little things you may find when you look at tabs, and then if you turn on vertical, they're organized vertically as well, so that you can navigate. So you have a lot of options for how you navigate. And of course, as you hover over one of these, it previews it for you so you can see what it might look like. And if you want to take off group similar tabs, it'll turn it off. Right-clicking does a lot of things, and it does a lot of things I discovered in Edge. So I'm going to right-click and look at what the menu is that pops up. I can open this link in a new tab, open it in a new window, open it in private, open in split screen, save it, copy it, add it to collections, share it, and of course I have my password item here, or I can get an image descriptions from Microsoft that'll help me out, or inspect it, which is for developers. It'll let you inspect it. The share tool is very interesting. It's actually context aware whether I'm using Edge on Windows or whether I'm using Edge on a Mac. This will give me the ability to copy this link. I can email it. I can go to Gmail and share it, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, WhatsApp, or go to my default mail app or Outlook, or Windows share options. Windows share options brings up a window specifically for Windows share options. So it has a couple of people that are in my email. I can share it using Outlook. If you have Phone Link installed on your Windows computer, which lets you connect it to your smartphone, you can use Phone Link and it'll share it into Phone Link, so you can get it to your phone very quickly if you want to. Or you can send it by email or search for people if you're connected to your 365 account. I use Microsoft 365 for my contact information, so if I wanted to send this to myself, it'll automatically say it's going to Bob at bobology.com, URL from Bob Cohen. Already put the link in there, and I just click send, and something from from the menu here. Just another type of flow. Now, interestingly enough, you can share from a tab. If you hover over a tab and you right-click on it, it brings up some interesting options. I can change the color of this tab group. I can pin it, which it already is. I can add a new tab. I can ungroup it, or move the group to a new window if I want to. If I want to open up an entirely new Edge window, I can do that. So ungrouping will take them apart. It'll delete the color. That's where it was. And so I can ungroup these tabs if I want to and change them. But you can see that I can also move tabs to the right, refresh them, duplicate it, pin it, mute it, send it to other devices, and just do a lot of different changes that I can do in the options here if I'm interested in doing it. This is Bing.com. It has an image search and a voice search if you want to. Microsoft gives you points that you can redeem for services and money and cards on their shopping if you're logged in and registered. But they also have ways you can extend the functionality of your browser as well. So if you look at this jigsaw puzzle-like piece, that's called extensions. And Microsoft Edge is built on top of a open source browsing technology called Chromium, which also happens to be what Chrome uses, made by Google. And Google made it available open source. Microsoft decided, we're done with Internet Explorer. When we go to Edge, we're going to do something different. But they originally did not use Chromium for Edge. They actually switched out and started using Chromium. So virtually all of the extensions that are available for Chrome are also available for Edge. So I use Grammarly, and the little I says show in toolbar, or I can check more actions on it if I want to, what it can do. I use LastPass for my password manager. I can manage these extensions and delete them, or I can explore the Edge add-ons. They call them add-ons in Edge. Extensions, add-ons, plugins. the same different ways of describing the same type of thing. So Microsoft Edge has a lot of add-ons, okay? So they have things like Capital One, they have Adobe Acrobat, they have VPNs, and Microsoft does include a VPN capability that you can turn on when you're using the Edge browser. It's built in, something new they added. So let's take a look at editors picks. They're usually pretty good. Toucan, language learning. Netflix Party is now Teleparty. Okay. McAfee, Roblox, TunnelBear, Stream Cleaner, Microsoft Editor. You can turn on Editor in your browser and use it. It's the DuckDuckGo for privacy, and Evernote Web Clipper. Some people prefer Evernote over OneNote for doing different things. To your Microsoft Edge browser if you want to. News and weather that you can put in. Microsoft made a deal recently so that they're pulling in Yahoo's finance news. Virtually all the major add-ons that are available in Chrome are also available as add-ons and extensions in the Edge developer store when you're looking at different extensions. And you can manage your extensions by looking at the ones you have installed. And if you have them turned on, there's just an on button or an off button. I prefer personally just using Grammarly for grammar checking and writing as opposed to Microsoft Editor, but Microsoft Editor comes with your 365 account. So if you're typing a letter or doing something, if you ever want to get to your Google Docs offline, you can actually install an extension in your Edge browser so that you can use your Edge browser to get to your Google Docs offline, and it will optimize your experience if you want to in using it when you aren't connected. One other area is this set of three dots right here. Again, a lot of the things that you're looking at, print, web capture, find on page, settings for your Edge browser give you the ability to customize the settings you use on it if you want to. So I'm signed in to my Microsoft 365 account, so it says sync is on. If I wanted to change the appearance, I can customize the theme. It gives you the ability to manage cookies if you're interested, and other features like the camera and the microphone. So sometimes you may end up getting on a web conference that asks you permission to use your camera and microphone, which is something that you can choose to deal with and manage. It's set up on Windows as my default browser. It gives me the ability to go back compatible to Internet Explorer if I want to. It'll show me where my downloads end up if I want to. Gives me the ability to deal with different languages and other tools, manage systems, reset settings, and obviously phone. If you want to connect your phone to sync, you can actually scan a QR code. There is an option in here to actually turn a web page into a QR code, create a QR code for this page. So if you want to just send somebody a QR code, you can, or if it's your own web page and you want to give people a QR code that they can use to access, say, a menu at a restaurant or a promotion at a business or something like that, you can do that as well, and it'll create the QR code and you can just copy it or download it. So there's no need for a separate app to be able to do that anymore. Just a lot of options available in Edge for Windows.